What's going on, guys? We're back with the long-awaited Russia guide, and today we have the unblurred tilted short antenna, so I'm just going to call it tilted short, really, or just tilted antenna. Um, and yeah, there's not too much with this one. It's pretty easy, I'd say, so it's going to be a pretty short episode. Also, a lot of the landscape stuff gets pretty repetitive, which I think has been why I've been a little unmotivated to continue the series, just because the landscapes really are the same, generally speaking. So yeah, but let's go over this one. So first, I'm going to identify the southern cluster here. So this is near Stavropol, and I would say this cluster is basically what it has been before. So you're either going to see kind of like mountains like this, and a lot of like darker soil, right? And some gridded road angles around this area too. Obviously, this one is not. Um, a lot of this is in September coverage, which has also been pretty typical in other antenna types. And yeah, if we go to like this lock here, you'll see this dark soil. You'll see very obviously looks like fall coverage. And I guess I never even explained what tilted antenna was, but it's just going to be when it's tilted and it's not blurred. So if you see that there, it's just tilted a little bit to the left, as you can see. And it'll always be tilted a little bit to the left. It won't be to the right. And yeah, it's unblurred. So yeah, if it is blurred, obviously, probably be Volgograd with this kind of landscape or something. But this one, you can click Stavropol. Next, we have the southeast of Moscow cluster. A lot of this is more into like summer coverage, I'd say, although there is some fall coverage as well. It's a little bit flat and green typically. Sometimes it's a little bit hilly. I think it is near Tula, I think, like over here. Like this area gets a little bit hilly. Doesn't look like it is here, but yeah, I can assure you sometimes it is a little bit hilly, but yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. It's pretty generic. Like I'd say if you have a very generic looking rush around with the tilted antenna, it's probably just going to be here. Like if it doesn't look too cold, it doesn't look too far south or anything, probably around here. One good tip is for Tambov. So with Tambov, you often have tree rows. Okay, it took me a second to find a lock, but if you have these like tree rows everywhere, that's a decent meta for Tambov. It's a little bit fake, so be careful with it. It is a little bit fake, but that's kind of the vibe of like Tambov and like this kind of area in general. So if you do see those tree rows and it's a little bit like summery looking and a little bit kind of green, generally flat, maybe click southeast of Moscow. Okay, and the last general cluster here we have is the kind of St. Petersburg to Moscow cluster. So it just goes all the way from here to here. This looks a lot more northern, and it generally has more like red soil. Like if you see this, it's a little bit, got a bit of a pink like red tinge to it. And that's pretty much been the case for all the antenna types. Like it's a little bit more red and pink kind of soil. Another good tip for tilted with this cluster here is that it's often May coverage. So if we do an and selection here, we can see that the only May coverage in tilted is just right here. So yeah, if you know the season and you know that it's tilted, pretty easy to get this area here. And let's just see, if we go to a lock where it's obvious, let's see, is it obvious here? Not really. Maybe a little bit. Okay, I'd say it's a little obvious here because we have a ton of yellow flowers here, which is pretty indicative of springtime. You know, they're blooming basically. And yeah, I'd say the trees look a little bit like lighter green color. But yeah, if you see this May and tilted, you're automatically going to be here, which is very nice. But I'll also say for the general landscape, just like red soil looks colder, you probably get a lot more dirt roads like near St. Petersburg. And yeah, just colder trees, more pines, more birches, redder soil. And with that, you guys can basically just cook all of the tilted short antenna. It's pretty easy. Sometimes you can blender probably these two clusters the most often, but yeah, I mean, just use your best judgment, and you know, even if you're slightly off, you're probably going to be better than your opponents in duels, hopefully. So anyways, very short episode, but that's really all I have to say for this one. So yeah, we'll continue with the series, and I'm going to try to finish it probably going to try to finish the series within the next month, I would say. And so we'll go over the long antennas pretty soon here. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.